I want Cam to come up also. I couldn't have put everything together without him. And it was a blast. We were exchanging email, and the whole time we were exchanging email, Judy and Andy and their whole family were on a vacation in Costa Rica. So they are sitting there thinking that Cam is working hard, diligent, telecommuting, trying to earn his living for his family, when he's really exchanging email with me and telling me all these wonderful stories about Judy and Andy and their life together and their lives raising their family. It was really a lot of fun. So let me tell you a little bit of what I learned about Judy and Andy during all of this. So first of all, I think of Andy as Mr. Lake and Judy as Mrs. Arts. These are two really important roles within the Greensboro community. I think we all appreciate the arts and what it means to us here in town, and we're very fortunate to have such a rich arts community here. And of course, Greensboro wouldn't be Greensboro without Caspian Lake. It's just part of the center of the lake. So we have somebody here taking care of that for us. Andy's grandfather first bought a cottage on Edgewood in the 20s. So he has been coming here all of his life. Judy's family, with her mother and sister, moved to the Highland Lodge probably in the 50s, 1953. And so she grew up at the lodge. And this was a true Greensboro romance. We have the milkman and the waitress. And they would go hang out behind the lodge, smoking cigarettes and flirting with each other. Well, they finally did the right thing and got married in June of '66 with a ceremony at the lodge and a reception at the cottage on Edgewood. Then Andy went to work for Exxon, which took him all over the world, and he eventually rose to the position of chief engineer. They spent a year in London where Cam was born, and then they spent 3 years in Germany where Chris was born. And Chris isn't here, right? Okay. After this, they settled in New Jersey, and Judy actually began quilting when Cam was born. You were looking for a project, and because of the limits of the kinds of fabrics that you could find where you were living, you created this new method and your own artistic style, and then eventually traveled the world teaching. You have pieces in the permanent White House craft collection and at the Smithsonian. And I believe that Shelburne Museum now has a piece there, yes. And you have a quilt that's listed in the top 100 most important quilts in the United States.
One of the 100 best quilts of the 20th century.
Okay, quite an honor. Fortunately for Greensboro, after retirement, they decided to settle back here. Andy, I would call you in charge of lake conservation, the milfoil program, Lake Clarity. You served on the Greensboro Nursing Home Board for many years and were responsible for increasing the number of beds that they have at the nursing home by 5, which was about a 25% increase, correct? Right. And also anything with cars, boats, or motors, Andy's the guy to talk to. Judy hosted the quilt-ins at Highland Lodge for many years. You've been a founder of the Caspian Arts, working on the Grange Committee, getting that going, managing the walking ladies. Probably the hardest job of all is herding the walking ladies and working with Meals on Wheels. When you first came here, that was when this church was going through its bicentennial celebration, and you were both instrumental in the renovations, getting the fundraising done, getting the physical work done. I think you contributed a lot of physical labor to that, and you created some of the wall hangings that are now here commemorating the church. So, we in Greensboro are very fortunate that we have this former milkman and former waitress sharing their talents with our community. I think Judy and Andy deserve a big round of applause.
Thank you. So I have one little story about Judy I have to tell. Just because it's funny for me anyway. So my wife Emily and I were here in the spring, and we came up for a weekend to do chores. We were doing some chores at the lake, some chores in the Crosby Road. My father wouldn't believe that if I say that, but it's true. We were, and when we were driving along, we saw a couple of people. It was cleanup. It was Green Day, and saw a couple of people picking up trash along the highway. So we'll do that too. So Emily and I came out with a couple of garbage bags, and we spent about an hour. We thought that's pretty good. We did an hour, and 4 hours later we come by, and there's Judy still doing it. She did the entire road from Circus Road all the way down to the Han Lodge, I think it is. Anyway, thank you for everything you do. Appreciate it.